Okay, well, Isaiah Wong has accomplished so much in his 4 years. He is now on time for graduation. He led us in scoring. He was first team all conference. He was player of the year in the ACC. He helped us win the regular season ACC championship and helped lead us to the Final Four. You can't really accomplish much more as a college basketball player than Isaiah Wong did. So I'm very, very happy for him. He's on his journey to try to reach his dream, which is playing in the NBA.
All right, we'll go into questions now. If you have a question for Coach L, please use the hand raise function and wait to be called on. You'll start off with Adam Lichtenstein from the Sun Sentinel. Adam?
Hi, Jim. Just about Isaiah, just what do you think his legacy is at Miami?
Well, he's certainly one of the greatest basketball players of all time in the University of Miami history. I think, if you ask me, it's about his tremendous, consistent work ethic. I mean, I think he set a standard for everybody to emulate. He's just a really hard-working guy. He's never had a bad attitude day or a bad work ethic day. He's always come. He's like kind of a quiet leader, but he just leads by example. And I think he's set the tone for us, hopefully for many years to come, certainly during his 4 years. And in particular, these last two where, we get to the Elite Eight and then the Final Four. And, he's a huge part of both of those runs.
Go to Barry Jackson from the Miami Herald. Barry?
Hi, Jim. What's the updated count of scholarships available you have now? Are you still looking to add 2 transfers? Could there be more than that? And what are you seeking besides a 4 to replace Jordan Miller in the portal?
Well, Barry, what I would tell you is recruiting is very fluid. And so we've got to constantly be updating our thoughts and our actions. So I believe right now we're at 9. Things change all the time. Kids could commit. So we'll be reevaluating that. I'm guessing every day to every week for the next month or so.
Go to Luke Cheney from Life Wallet Sports. Luke?
Hey, Coach. I was just curious, when Isaiah was a high schooler, just what were some of the things that drew you to him as a player back when he was a recruit?
Yeah, when we watched Isaiah, he was like 6'2", 162 pounds, but he could score. In high school, he led his team in scoring. He's in AAU ball. He was a tremendous scorer, and we just felt he had a lot of potential. He's a very good athlete, and a hard worker. I mean, I love guys who really work hard, who, going to spend a lot of time in the gym, kind of like gym rats. And in Isaiah's case, from day one, he was in the gym working on his game and just kept getting better and better. So Isaiah, coming out of high school, was recruited, maybe not as highly recruited as some guys, but he certainly was a top prospect for us.
Go to Marcus Benjamin from Keynes County. Marcus?
Coach, just wanted your take on Isaiah Wong's future in the NBA. What kind of player do you think he'll potentially be on the pro level?
I think when the NBA scouts that I have talked to look at him, they really see a guy who's a high-octane scorer who really scored at the college level very well. I know in some of his workouts in previous years, they've encouraged him to expand his range, which he's done. So he's now, I think, a very good three-point shooter. But I think the thing he'll need to do is be able to play both the point and the 2, and be able to guard both 1 and 2s. And I think he's going to be able to do that. In all cases, it's opportunity to play. And in Isaiah's case, if he gets an opportunity to showcase his talents and what he can do, I think he'll take advantage of that. but it's got to be with the right team. You know, it's hard enough to make the NBA, but to really fit in and earn a spot in the rotation is really difficult. So, but we wish him nothing but the best. He's deserves all the success that he'll enjoy in the future.
Go back to Adam.
Hi again. So yeah, after last year's, great season, you had to replace Cam McGusty and Sam Wardenberg and Charlie Moore. Now this year, losing Isaiah, losing Jordan. Just how do you keep the same culture, the same energy, the same mindset, I guess, when you have to replace so many key players, year after year?
Well, that's the whole key to recruiting, to find the right guys, the right pieces that fit in with your culture. And that is what my assistant coaches do a great job of. They know what I like, what I'm looking for. They've been able to identify guys that maybe somebody else said, I'm not going to be that good. I'll give you the two examples you gave. Charlie Moore, I mean, he had been at California, Kansas, DePaul. People were worried about, is he bringing too much baggage? Well, Charlie Moore was a great fit. Coach Courtney recruited him and told me, you'll love coaching Charlie and Charlie will love playing for you, and that was true. Jordan Miller the same way. I mean, mid-major, Atlantic 10 player, an all-conference caliber player, but jumping up to the ACC and then having to play with other really good players, and trying to figure out his role. And during the course of his career, not only did he be able to contribute, but he just kept expanding his role. He just kept doing more and more really, really well. That's why throughout the season, I call him the most underrated player in the country, because he was so good at everything. I don't think anybody knew that this guy was going to score the way he did, rebound the way he did, defend the way he did, assist the way he did, and help us, look at the Texas game, scores 27 points and leads us to the Final Four. I mean, those two guys fit in beautifully. So we're constantly looking, we brought in Nigel to replace Charlie. We brought in Norshad to replace Sam Wardenberg, and look how beautifully they both fit in. So my coaching staff has done a great job, and I'm telling them they got to do the same thing this year.
Go back to Luke.
Yeah, coach. So similar to Adam's question, just, with Isaiah departing, there's obviously a vacancy in that starting lineup. Just who are some of the players that you expect to, fill that role that are still on the team right now?
Yeah, so I think we've got a very good backcourt. We normally play a three-guard offense. So we have Nigel, we have Bensley, we have Wooga. Those three guys had great years this past season, and we expect them to even expand their role this coming year. We will have to, add a guy to that group, because we want to have not only a great starting lineup, but a good rotation. And it's the same thing in the front court.
Go back to Adam again.
Yeah, since you mentioned, Nigel, Norshad, Wilga, I'm assuming, even though they're draft eligible and eligible to leave, I'm assuming they've told you that they'll be back next year.
Well, I've had discussions with all of them, and I will say I'm counting on them for next year. Conversations with players today, you can't predict anything. I think those guys are planning to come back, but who the heck knows in today's college basketball world?
Go back to Barry.
Jim, without getting into names, do you feel good about where you are in some of your pursuits of players in the portal? And you all had great success in the portal before a Final Four, but do you think the Final Four has given you any boost at all from what you can sense in the portal market?
Well, I think success always breeds success. So I think, prospects look at us, they're a little more familiar with us. They know we reached the Elite Eight last year. They know we've made the Final Four. They know the guys are graduating. And I think the one thing's very consistent with all transfers, they're looking for a good landing spot where they fit. And so, we've encouraged them to look closely at our roster and our league and our geographical location. get to know our players, and then decide for themselves. You know, we're a great academic school, so we want kids who are good students who will graduate. We want kids who are really role models in the community. So my coaches are very, very focused on finding the right guys. And then obviously when you're losing the caliber of player like a Isaiah Wong or Jordan Miller or some of the other guys that are moving on, you feel like, hey, you know, we got to find the right guys, because if we do, and they complement the guys we already have, we could have a terrific team again next year.
Anything else for Coach L? All right, Coach, thank you very much for your time.